What's up? Samuel Watts, coming to my viewers with another video blog. What are we going over today? Let's get into it. I want to tell you guys how I get through my daily fasts. Before I tell you some of my tips and tricks, I want to start it off with a story. Something cool happened to me when I was at the gym. I had met a gentleman in the sauna. We both were doing, breath work and like mobility exercises, right? Because the point of the sauna is to, clean yourself, rid the body of your toxins, stretch the tight muscles out, crack the bones that have been annoying you. That's why I go into the sauna, right? Plus it has many other benefits like increased testosterone, increased muscle mass, increased metabolism, yada, yada, yada. That's another video. What happened in the sauna, me and this guy, we were doing our exercises and we both finished up roughly the same time. And when we got out, I was still dripping all over the place. He was too, and he comes up and he's like, dude, like, I see what you're doing in there, like, I've started to do it too. And I'm like, man, good for you. He was all veiny, he had a trap pump, so he was doing something right. But he had asked me, he was like, aside from the sauna, like, what else do you do? Is there anything else that I could be doing that would help me look like you? And, I scratched my head for a minute because this guy already understood, the importance of using a sauna. He understood the importance of using your body, making sure every single joint is in proper working order, right? So I'm thinking, I'm like, well, I fast. Have you ever tried fasting? Because I'm thinking to myself, if the guy's using the sauna, maybe he's tried fasting before, like a water fast or maybe once a week or something like that. He ends up looking at me kind of shocked, He's like, dude, you mean to tell me that you fast and you look like that? Like, you're quite muscular. I thought when you fast, you lose all of that. And I kind of laughed at him. I was like, no, that's so backwards. And he ended up laughing too. He's like, I can see why. I've been living my whole entire life and people have told me maybe I shouldn't be fasting. It's unhealthy, right? But then there I was standing in front of him, being the example of you can do this and get a result like this. So we talked for a minute and he ends up telling me, all right, I'm gonna fast today. I'm gonna drink my black coffee. I'm gonna have my coconut oil. I'm gonna be having a lot of water. I'm gonna make it through the day. I was like, good for you, man. Good for you. I ended up telling him more of the, food items, liquid nutrition. I told him some of the stuff I take to help me maintain my fast. So that's what we're gonna go over in the video today. When it comes to maintaining a fast, my whole idea is I fast from chewable food, okay? Because I believe that your body needs, set time, set focus, a set environment to digest food. So me personally, I like to run all throughout the day until the last couple hours of bed, 2-3 hours. That's when I have my dinner. I might go to the bathroom once or twice before, but typically I'll wake up the next morning fairly early, 5-6 o'clock, and I go to the bathroom. I have one big bowel movement and I'm ready for the rest of the day. This is probably, a ways away for most people because I have conditioned my body to digest food that quickly, but it is very, very possible for anybody to do. You just got to keep on applying the principles, which is what I'm going to tell you in this video. So, as I said, one chewable meal. What about the times where, you know, you're kind of dehydrated or you're tired, you know, water's not really cutting it? Maybe you could have Gatorade or electrolytes, that helps. But a lot of the times it doesn't give you, you know, that quick surge of nutrition that your body needs. So you've seen me do the raw eggs. That's of course some liquid calories that I believe they don't break the fast. Your fast is broken when your body starts digesting. You know, that's why I advocate for water, you know, because the food that you ate the night before, it's still gonna be breaking down and running through your body, getting dispersed throughout the muscles and the organs, the right areas for the right nutrition. So when you're too dehydrated and some of the typical options aren't working, one of my go-tos is like bone broth, okay? I also like to make this stuff myself. You know, because I like to have big buffets, I make a lot of food, so I have a lot of leftovers. Which you also want to factor in, don't have a disposable mindset. You know, have a foraging mindset. You know, have a creative mindset. Because what's in here is my dinner from 3-4 weeks ago. I'll still probably eat it, but as the weeks have been going down, you know, you just come in here and take a good horn, you know, 2-3 good swigs. You can see there's some frozen fat in there. So once that hits your mouth, it's gonna melt. Your body needs some good healthy fats to be pumping blood through all of your arteries. Your body's gonna need the aminos that are coming off of the beef. So I really feel like it's not rocket science, which is why I try and speak so simple about it. You know, it's like the pioneer stories we heard. They would drink their canned goods and then eat them at the end of the day, save their rations. Or pickle juice. This is another thing that I absolutely love. Like, you have a midday workout, you know, an evening walk. You're kind of tired, but you still want the fast to keep going. Grab yourself some pickle juice then. Take a good horn of it. It also tastes really good. And it's really, really good for your gut. Like, aside from just maintaining your fast, it's also gonna clean more of your insides. And when your insides are happy, your brain is happy too. So, what about the times where, you know, aminos, severe dehydration, severe malnourishment? That's really not a thing. I mean, it is, but in certain situations. For most people, we live in a modern society, so you genuinely have to want to malnourish yourself in order to do that. So if you do get to that feeling, honey, or Gatorade, a soda, a slushie. Sometimes I even do ice cream, okay? Because the idea is it's quick, easy, fast-acting glucose. which if you start feeling malnourished, that means your body's gonna need glucose because it's used up all of the sugar from the fast or the meal prior. So there's plenty of times, several days, where I just take a good horn of honey. You know, if it's in the middle of the day, sometimes I even have 3, 4, or 5 like mouthfuls. Like, for real, I go through honey like a madman. I mean, it's the golden nectar, they say. So, you should start consuming a lot of it. You know, they tell you sugar is bad, but what kind of sugar, right? And the other thing too, you know, if you factor in these principles, liquid nutrition, you know, proper forms of glucose, even if you have 500-600 calories of pure sugar or pure fat, if you are in the state of a fast where your body is not actively breaking down food, all of that sugar, all of the fat, even if there's protein in there, it's gonna go straight to the biceps, man. It's not gonna turn into that flab, right? Now, the reason why it's not going to turn into that flab is because when your body is, you know, low on glucose, like this, the second glucose hits it, it gets absorbed. See how that side is more puffy than this side? Your muscles will do the exact same thing. So, those are a few of my favorite things that I'm having regularly. I didn't bring an egg this time, but, you know, pickle juice, broth, liquid sugar, raw honey. Sometimes I even do brown sugar and lemon juice. A little bit of coconut oil. The more you think about it, the more you realize, oh, it's really simple. It's just, I can't be putting this stuff in my body. See how I'm using my arms to break this apart, right? Your body's gonna do that too. But if you look at water, right? Look, let's watch. See those droplets down there? It's like the water's breaking apart on itself. There doesn't need to be an outside force that's contributing. Because when you're eating, your body and your digestive system is that outside force. So just save that for the end when you can actually enjoy your meal. Anyhow, I hope someone learned something. This is probably the same information that several people have shared online. So if I couldn't convey anything to you properly, I'm sorry. But if I did convey something to you properly, let's go.